Have you ever crawled out of bed in the morning, shambled down to your kitchen, desperate for that first shot of hot caffeine, and noticed this dark mood descending on you as you wake up? You know that sinking feeling of despair as you reflect on the pointlessness and drudgery of the day ahead of you? That sense that you're trapped in a prison of endless, numbing repetitions. Get up, go to work, endure the day, come home, go to bed, repeat, day after day. And the only relief being few hours of fun you manage to wedge somewhere into an upcoming weekend. I mean, the coffee helps, sure, but no matter how many you drink, it fails to make you enthusiastic. But you think to yourself, you're a good employee, you support your family, and you support your community. You know that you should be grateful. After all, you've got a warm home, you've got a nice car to drive, you know where your next meal is coming from. A lot of people don't have work that affords them the kind of security and luxuries that you have. Reflecting on it, really, the best thing to do is just finish getting ready to face this day. You don't want to be late and lose this job that you really should be feeling lucky to have. Later, you find yourself staring in your mirror, checking over your work clothes, looking for any noticeable stains because of the same clothes you wore a couple of days ago but hung back up because you are sick of always having laundry to do. Luckily, these clothes are the same style as everyone else wears, so it's not like anyone's going to look too closely. While inspecting your clothes, you notice that the lines around your eyes have just gotten that much deeper, and your hair is yet more gray. Fuck, you think. Sucks to see your youth fading. On the other hand, in a mere decade and a half, you can finally retire and do whatever it is that you want. Not that you have any clue of what you'd really like to do. The only thing you're really sure of is that you don't want to do this. Back to the kitchen you go to fill your travel mug with the third cup of coffee, hopefully enough to get you through your upcoming commute, but not so much that you're caught in traffic and dying to have a pee. 10 minutes later, you turn from your street onto the main road. Your windshield wipers shudder across the window and smudge the rain into an evenly distributed blur. Really need to get those replaced. You considered learning to replace them yourself. It seems like a simple enough job, and you'd save yourself that outrageous mechanics fee. But you just don't know where to buy windshield wipers, nor whether one size fits all or you need a specific type for your car. Must be simple. You really have to Google it when you get a chance. You make a mental note, but think to yourself you're quite sure you made the same mental note every morning this month. Not that it matters this morning. Traffic is barely moving. Only taillights ahead as far as you can see. Going to be another long, frustrating commute. Remember your friend Rob? Last you heard he was living in a cabin in some sort of granola-eating, hippie-like, maybe it's called hipster-like now, community. I think he manages to feed himself by writing travel blogs or something. I bet he isn't ever sitting in traffic and doesn't need to spend most of his days hiding from some bitter bureaucrat of a boss, waiting for the day to end. Jesus, wouldn't that be an amazing life? But, the mortgage won't pay itself, your credit card bills are due, and you still don't have enough money to send your kids to university. Too bad you didn't think this through earlier in your life before you took on all of this commitment. Who the thought this whole university work, family, responsibility, life thing was a good idea anyway? I mean, you suspect your parents supported these decisions, not that you ever had a discussion with them. I mean, Jesus, your parents weren't exactly enjoying their lives either. 2 divorces, endless debt, multiple prescriptions for antidepressants, and even more empty wine bottles in the recycling. It's hardly as if they're models of mental health. Ah, fuck. There's an accident up ahead. Definitely going to be busting for a piss before I reach the office. Does any of this sound familiar? I would imagine for the majority of adults in the Western world, this sounds very familiar. Even if the details are wrong, I would imagine that the emotions expressed in the story are very familiar. A huge portion of people spend at least some of their time feeling frustrated, trapped, irritated, harried, stressed, and generally dissatisfied with their life. It may be a minor itch, something that you express over a few drinks with friends, or it may be an overpowering that simply sucks all the pleasure out of your life and becomes the pervading thought in the front of your mind. Infuses every waking moment, leaves you despondent and desperate. But it isn't surprising. What is surprising is that the majority of us, if asked, would say that we were doing pretty well in life, that we consider ourselves successful, that we have good jobs, that we're the lucky ones, that it could be worse, that it is just life. And we are only putting in the work that is necessary to build a better life for our families, to send our children to good schools, to ensure that they have a chance to do whatever they want to do. Deep down, we all suspect that there is a better alternative out there somewhere. We all fantasize about the day that'll come sometime in the future when we'll be inspired to make that real definitive change, to make it happen. I fall neatly into this category. I spent most of my life, considering by most measures, I was very successful. I worked for the same corporation for 23 years of my life. I rose from an entry-level sales position to running a unit that operated in multiple countries and brought in tens of millions of dollars in revenue. I've had titles like director, vice president, general manager. I've lived in multiple countries. I've lived on multiple continents. I've worked in dozens and dozens of different countries, and I've traveled extensively, most of it as a result of my work. I've owned nice cars. I've sent my children to the best private schools. And I've had wonderful, comfortable offices and fantastic homes to go home to. I've even had maids and drivers at various points in my life. In fact, if you look at the dreams and aspirations I would have had as a teenager, I exceeded well beyond my wildest dreams. I've also struggled with depression and felt frustration and felt desperately trapped. I've struggled with getting out of bed in the morning and going to work. I resented all the meetings. I resented all the business travel. I've detested those business dinners where you sat with groups of people who, frankly, you had nothing in common with, having small talk for some objective that no one could identify beyond having good relationships. And I've had weeks of crushing deadlines, and I've had the quiet weeks where I've sat in the office day after day, flagellating myself mercilessly so that I would be able to do even the simplest task, which seemed so pointless. I've desperately fantasized about doing something else entirely. I've done research. I've read books about finding your passion. I've researched options. I've organized my finances to try and figure out just how much I had and just how much I needed if I wanted to strike out on my own. Despite this, I did what most of us do. I went to the office day after day. I spent decades working and doing my best. I fantasized about living different lives, but not once did I do anything to make that a reality. My reality and my trap was I had no fucking idea what I wanted to do with my life, what my passions were, no idea how to find out, and honestly, no real idea even where to begin. At the end of 2020, my life changed. I wish I could say I made an unequivocal decision to change my life and take a risk. But no, my life changed because I got so frustrated that I eventually told my boss to get stuffed rather than just pushing the emotions down one more day and saying nice things to him through teeth cracked from clenching. Yes, for a number of years I've been working and focusing on trying to figure out why I was so unsatisfied and so unhappy. I wish I could say as a result of that I had a plan, but I didn't have anything other than a growing conviction that I didn't like what I was doing. I found myself in a position where working harder, where moving to another country, where taking a new position and a new challenge, where getting promoted, where getting paid more were not going to solve my problems. So I forced a separation from the company, and with a little bit of good luck on my side, the situation was where the company had made a number of issues in terms of managing my separation from the company, which put me in an excellent position to negotiate a separation package that does give me a measure of freedom, for at least for a little while. And for the first time since the age of 13, I found myself free. Awesome, like awesome. Now what the fuck do I do with my freedom? Welcome to my new channel. I'm XCG, and this is Pernicious Chattel. This channel is going to be partially a public journal. It's also going to be an opportunity to document and track my progress. I wanted to create a platform and an opportunity to gather around me a community of people who are likewise interested in this question of what is our alternative to having a traditional career? And is a traditional career really what we want? And in fact, in modern work, is it even possible to be satisfied? I wanted to gather around myself a community of people who are interested in ending the fetishization of work that seems to be so rampant in Western culture. I'm interested in gathering a community of people who are interested in ending wage slavery. I want to diagnose how the hell so many of us find ourselves in this situation when all we've done is try to do the right thing, the thing that people told us would be the path to feeling proud and successful and being a pillar of the community, and all these things that were going to make us feel so much better about ourselves. I'd also like to learn why it's so fucking hard to change. Finally, I want to figure out what the hell to do with the rest of my life. I'm simply not inclined to sit in a lazy boy, put my feet up and watch TV. Here's a few things I know for sure. I don't want to go back to being a corporate zombie again. I want to, as facile as it may sound, to follow my passions. I have to figure out what the hell my passion is. It also means understanding why the self-respect, the self-sufficiency, and the satisfaction that was promised by corporate life turned out to be a delusion. Ultimately, I would like to have an answer to all of these questions because it is impossible for a person to avoid a trap that they don't know is there. I also do know a few things about what I like. I love expressing myself. I love being creative. I love writing and speaking. So sharing this journey is a first step. I also know that I really enjoy research and analysis. So part of this journal will be a skeptical critique of the modern economy, work, and social attitudes towards both. I know I enjoy working with people, especially working with individuals and groups to find solutions to common problems. I find immense satisfaction in cooperation. So I'd like to see if there's enough material in my journey to help others. Whether this YouTube channel is successful in achieving all these goals, or I need to start a coaching business, or maybe develop online courses, or who knows, maybe even write a book. I know I'd like to document what I'm doing as a way of learning for myself and hopefully generating material other people can use. But I also need to make this work for a very important reason. I don't have enough money to maintain my lifestyle and the lifestyle of my family through to until death. I may have enough money to survive, but ultimately I need to find a way to monetize my passion. If I find out that my passions aren't monetizable, I need to turn my existing savings into a stream of income that will subsidize my passions. On this topic, there is a lot of content already available out there, but I find a lot of it contradictory. I find a lot of it pretty complex, and I think there's a great opportunity to find some simple, effective, and workable solutions, at least for someone in my current set of circumstances. I suspect that this is going to be a massive journey. I already know that it is a terrifying journey. I'm embarking on a journey that I honestly believe is as likely to fail as it is to succeed. But if you're identifying with the things that I'm saying, I'd really like you to come along. You know what to do. Click that like button, click that subscribe button. I certainly appreciate it. Until next time, this is XCG wishing you all the best on your journey to freedom.